After watching One Piece, many people feel like they should study the world of One Piece as if it is real. And that's fine because it is as expansive and vast as our real world. Now within this world, we got a lot of mysteries that are yet to be solved. But guess what? Whatever you know till now wasn't even the real truth. At least some pieces of it. So in today's video, we are going to take a look at some of those things that were actually something else than what we initially thought. Simply because that's what Oda told us. So let's break down the lies of Eiichiro Oda within the world of One Piece. The first one is Imu's existence and the authority of Gorosi. A prominent deception within the world of One Piece narrative centers around the portrayal of the Gorosi as the ultimate leaders, holding unparalleled authority within the expansive world government. Although Eiichiro Oda never explicitly asserted this hierarchy, the implications become strikingly apparent through the introduction of Gorosi, particularly in the light of prevailing understanding of the Celestial Dragons up to that point. Celestial Dragons had already been established as the descendants of true leaders of the contemporary world in the series. The Gorosei, presented as distinctive members of this ruling class, resided within the grandeurs of Oars, seemingly orchestrating commands for both the Marines and Cypher Pole. However, the unforeseen revelation during the One Piece's Reverie arc shattered preconceived notions by introducing Imu, a figure whose authority surpasses even that of Gorosei. While Oda did not overtly mislead fans, he artfully implied that Gorosei represented the pinnacle of the world government authority, thereby subtly deceiving the audience's expectations. Next one is the singular devil fruit rule. The blatant falsehood presented to the fans in One Piece world revolves around the purported regulation that individuals can possess only one devil fruit each, and any attempt to acquire a second one would result in death. This assertion initially surfaced during the NES lobby arc when Jabra explained his reluctance to consume one of the devil fruits offered to Kaku and Khalifa. This established norm faced an abrupt contradiction during the Marineford arc with the revelation of Blackbeard, also known as Marshal D. Teach. Following his pivotal role in defeating Whitebeard, Blackbeard astoundingly demonstrated the ability to utilize his dark fruit to appropriate the powers of Whitebeard's Tremor fruit. To further co-found expectations, Blackbeard not only survived this daring feat but also continued to thrive in the series over 2 years in the world of One Piece. Despite existing theories attempting to rationalize this anomaly based on earlier hints by Oda, none of them have been conclusively validated as of now. The absence of definitive explanation for Blackbeard's unprecedented act places it among the noteworthy instances where Oda has perhaps deliberately misled readers with an unresolved narrative twist. Next one is Ohara's enduring legacy. Throughout the expansive world of One Piece, fans were steadfast in their belief that Nico Robin stood as the sole survivor of the tragic Ohara genocide, a notion reiterated by various characters, including Robin herself and world government officials, discussing the event in relation to her survival. However, the ongoing Egghead Island arc has recently upended this long-standing assumption, revealing that Robin does not represent the conclusive remnant of Ohara's legacy. In a surprising twist, both the research books discarded into Ohara's lake and Robin's companion Jaguar de Sol were unwielded as survivors of the genocidal attack through the flashback narrated by Dr. Vegapunk. The reason behind categorizing this as a deception by Oda lies in the absence of substantial foreshadowing of these revelations. Notably, the narrative lacks a robust setup for these unexpected twists, with the most compelling evidence being Robin's ability to endure the same freezing attacks that claimed Sol's life during the Ohara's genocide. Similarly, the fate of the research books, initially presumed to be ruined when thrown into the nearby lake, defies the expectations and challenges that established understanding of Ohara's tragic history. Next one is Pluton's enigmatic resurgence. Within the NES lobby arc, Enthusiast encounters Frankie, hailing from a lineage of shipwrights residing on Water 7. Over the course of both the Water 7 and NES lobby arcs, it unravels that this lineage hold the blueprints to the ancient weapon Pluton, with Frankie purposefully holding onto these dangerous plans. Upon confirmation, Frankie takes a drastic step by burning the Pluton's blueprints, a move that was endorsed by several Cypher Pole members who asserted that this act eradicated any possibility of the formidable battleship resurfacing. However, the Wano arc in One Piece unexpectedly challenges this narrative, as Kozuki Sukiyaki discloses that the original Pluton itself lies concealed within Wano's borders. This revelation prompts scrutiny as it is perceived as a fabrication by Oda to readers, primarily due to the conspicuous absence of foreshadowing or setup for Pluton's eventual reappearance. Since the destruction of the weapon's blueprints, there was no substantial reference to the Pluton until its sudden revelation in the late stages of Wano arc. Consequently, this development stands out as arguably one of the most significant and impactful instances where Oda misled readers viewership into the series. Next and the final one is Luffy's deception of his devil fruit. In a pivotal and arguably the most significant instances, Eiichiro Oda deceived readers regarding the nature of protagonist Monkey D. Luffy's devil fruit powers. However, this deception possesses intriguing nuances, as Oda subtly laid the groundwork for this revelation throughout the series, with the full extent of the clues only crystallizing in the hindsight. The introduction of the sun god Nika, the basis for Luffy's true devil fruit powers, was somehow hurried in the issues directly preceding this major disclosure. It is plausible to argue that Oda, by not providing readers with sufficient setup leading into the reveal, especially prior to the relatively final moment, crafted a deliberate deception. This subtlety of the cues dispersed throughout the series, when pieced together, reveals a calculated misdirection that leaves readers astounded by the unexpected twist in the Luffy's devil fruit narrative. What are your thoughts about this video? What are your thoughts about these things that Oda misled readers into believing? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and also if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. And also check out my other 2 videos related to One Piece over here. And that's it, and I will see you in the next one. Sayonara.